Here's the thing. Right now, millions of Social Security recipients are wondering the same thing. Where's my $200 raise? And when is the $2,000 stimulus check coming? Retirees, SSDI recipients, survivors, spouses on SSI, people are struggling with sky high prices while Congress keeps kicking the can. So, in this video, I'm going to go deep on what's real, what's proposed, and what could hit your bank account sooner than you think. So make sure you go ahead and grab a pen because this isn't just another update. This might probably be one of the most important breakdowns of Social Security benefits in 2025 that you've heard right now. All right, so let's start with the $200 raise and what you need to know. So this is going to be crucial, and here's why. The $200 monthly raise is part of the Social Security Expansion Act led by Senator Bernie Sanders, and others say retirees and disabled Americans should not be living in poverty after paying in their whole lives. So there are going to be some things that are going to be put in place to be able to make this happen, right? So there's going to be a $200 increase across the board. There's also, they're looking to eliminate taxation on Social Security benefits for lower income earners as well, making wealthier Americans pay more into the systems. So individuals earning more than 250,000. But let's be honest, right? This has not passed yet, not in 2022, not in 2023. And as of mid 2025, it's still stalled in Congress. And with the recent memo from the Trump administration pausing many of the federal assistance programs, like excluding Social Security, every dollar is now being scrutinized. So that means that the new proposals must show actually a clear return on taxpayer investments and aligning with the presidential priorities right now. So there's no overlap with what's deemed wasteful. So the $200 raise, it's still possible, but it's not necessarily guaranteed, right? So this is going to require massive pressure on both sides, support from advocacy groups and voters. Also, another thing that you need to know is that there is going to be the COLA, right? So the COLA 2025, right? So here's the truth. While the $200 is still stuck in gridlock right now, the 2025 cost of living adjustment, also known as COLA, is going to be official. So 2.5 increase for all SSA beneficiaries. That begins January 2025 for Social Security, December 31st, 2024 for SSI. So that's going to translate to about $50 more per month for the average recipient. So that sounds good until you realize what's really happening, right? So the average Social Security recipient has lost over $370 per month in buying power since 2010. And according to the Senior Citizens League. So why? Because COLAs are based on the CPIW, which tracks prices for urban wage earners and not necessarily seniors who end up actually spending more money on housing, utilities, and also medical expenses as well, getting their prescription drugs, Medicare premiums. So while the 2.5 seems generous, it often fails to actually match the real inflation for people who are in their senior period in their life, right? So what about the $2,000 stimulus check, right? So let's address the elephant in the room. You're probably wondering, where's that $2,000 stimulus check? And it's a very, very common question, especially with all the changes that are going on right now. So right now, it's not officially a fourth stimulus check that has officially passed. So not 2,000, not 1,400, not even 600. But here's what most people don't understand. Stimulus checks don't necessarily come from Social Security. They come from Congress and the U.S. Treasury, funded through emergency relief legislation like the CARES Act or ARPA. So technically, Social Security stimulus checks are two completely separate systems. And yes, you could actually receive both if they pass. So will we see another stimulus check in 2025? So here's what's important for you to know, right? The economy is pretty wobbly right now again, right? So unemployment is sticky, consumer spending is actually weakening, the household debt is at an all-time high, and inflation, though slowing, has left a permanent scars for many people. And many economists actually warn of a recession that may be coming in the next 6 to 12 months. So if that happens, direct stimulus payments become politically attractive again, especially to fixed income seniors, low income disabled workers, SSI recipients with no safety net. And don't forget that there's been talks of this $5,000 Doge dividend or energy rebates from federal funds. So while it's still speculative, these show that stimulus style programs remain on the table. So if a downturn actually happens, don't be surprised if Washington dusts off the stimulus playbook. All right. So Social Security Fairness Act quietly passed, but it has a big impact. So now that it did pass in 2025, it's going to be a game changer for many people, right? So it was actually signed by Biden in January 2025, the Social Security Fairness Act, which eliminates the windfall elimination provision, which is also known as WEP, and then eliminates the government pension offset GPO. So this impacts retired federal workers under CSRS, spouses and survivors receiving public pensions, dual income households where one spouse didn't pay into SSA. And here's the great part. It's actually retroactive to January 2024. So that means you may be owed a lump sum of a back payment and higher monthly benefits looking forward. So you want to make sure you log into your My Social Security account to check your updated benefit and mailing information and how to be able to make the most out of these benefits right now. So here's the $1 million tip. While we're waiting on Congress, here's what smart retirees and SSDI recipients are doing right now. So number one, they're switching to direct deposit. So paper checks are getting delayed more than ever now. So you want to make sure you do the direct deposit. You also want to call a Medicare expert. So thousands of people have been able to save, hundreds of dollars per year by being able to take advantage of that. You want to make sure you review your withholding. So many of the people on Social Security are paying unnecessary taxes. You want to use your COLA raise wisely. So consider putting that extra $50 into a high yield savings account, paying more than, the 1% that you typically get, usually less than 1% as well. So what is actually more likely to happen, the $200 raise or a $2,000 stimulus, right? So let me be real with you, right? The $2,000 stimulus check is probably going to be more likely because it's going to be faster to be able to approve. It's going to be simpler to distribute, easier to be able to sell politically. As far as the $200 raise, possible, but it's really going to require some big changes in order for that to happen. So that doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but you just want to be aware of that. So call to action really here is before you go, you want to make sure you go on My Social Security account for the 2025 COLA updates. You also want to make sure that if this video is valuable for you, make sure you go ahead and watch this next video here. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and I'll see you soon.